Rain poured over the crowded city streets. People rushed past a homeless old man sitting quietly outside the train station. His clothes were worn, his beard was gray, and his hands trembled from the cold. Most people looked away. Some even whispered, "He's probably just another beggar." No one knew that this man had once risked his life to protect strangers. His name was David. And tonight, one decision would change his life forever. Chapter 1: A Forgotten Hero. David was 68 years old. Years ago, he had proudly served his country as a soldier. He survived dangerous missions, saved fellow soldiers, and received medals for bravery. But after returning home, life became harder than any battlefield. His wife became seriously ill. Medical bills consumed all of their savings. After she passed away, David fell into depression. He lost his job. Soon, he lost his house. For the past 3 years, the streets had become his home. Every morning, he sat outside the station with a small cardboard sign. It simply read, "Veteran. Anything helps. God bless." Some people offered a few coins. Many ignored him. Others laughed. Still, David never begged aggressively. He simply smiled and thanked everyone, even those who gave nothing. Chapter 2: The Wallet. One rainy evening, the station was packed with commuters. A luxury black car stopped outside. A wealthy businessman hurried toward the entrance while talking on his phone. His name was Michael Carter, the owner of a successful construction company. As he reached into his coat, something slipped onto the wet sidewalk. A thick leather wallet. No one noticed. Except David. He slowly picked it up. When he opened it, his heart nearly stopped. Inside were thousands of dollars in cash, several credit cards, and one small family photograph. David hadn't eaten in 3 days. That money could buy food, warm clothes, even a hotel room. For a moment, he closed his eyes. The temptation was real. Then he looked at the old millet. Airy metal hanging around his neck. He whispered, "A soldier protects what's not his." David stood up and began searching through the crowd. Chapter 3: The Honest Choice. After several minutes, David spotted Michael near the ticket counter. "Sir," he called. Michael turned around, annoyed. "What?" David held out the wallet. "I think you dropped this." Michael grabbed it quickly. He opened it. Everything was still inside. Every dollar. Every card. Even the family photo. Michael stared at David in disbelief. "You didn't take anything?" David smiled gently. "I've already lost everything. But I won't lose my honor." For a few seconds, neither man spoke. Michael reached into his pocket and offered David $200. David politely shook his head. "I didn't return it for a reward. I returned it because it was the right thing to do." Chapter 4: The Secret Investigation. That night, Michael couldn't stop thinking about the homeless veteran. He asked his assistant to learn more. A few days later, the report arrived. Michael was shocked. David had once saved 3 fellow soldiers during combat. He had received military honors. He had sold everything to pay for his wife's cancer treatment. He had never committed a crime. Never asked anyone for pity. Life had simply been unfair. Michael felt ashamed. He realized he had judged David by his appearance. Chapter 5: The Surprise. 1 week later, a black car stopped beside David. Michael stepped out. "I have something to ask you." David looked confused. Michael handed him an envelope. Inside was the lease for a small furnished apartment. David's hands began to shake. This can't be real. Michael smiled. It is. And that's not all. I need someone I can trust. I'd like you to become the head security supervisor at my company. David couldn't believe what he was hearing. Tears filled his eyes. I don't know what to say. Michael replied. Just say yes. David nodded. For the first time in years. He smiled with hope. Chapter 6, A New Beginning. Over the next few months, everything changed. David moved into his apartment. He received medical care. He started working again. Employees quickly respected him. Not because of his past, but because of his honesty and kindness. Every lunch break, David visited the same train station. But this time, he wasn't asking for help. He was giving it. He brought sandwiches, blankets, and warm coffee to homeless veterans. Whenever someone thanked him, he simply smiled. I've been where you are. Never lose hope. Ending. 1 year later, Michael attended a charity event. On stage stood David. The audience applauded as he announced a new foundation dedicated to helping homeless veterans rebuild their lives. As the applause echoed through the room, David looked toward Michael. If I had kept that wallet, I might have had one good week. But by returning it, I found a whole new life. Sometimes, the greatest reward isn't money. It's the chance to begin again. Moral of the story. True wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by the honesty you keep, even when no one is watching. If this story touched your heart, remember, one act of kindness can change someone's life forever.